What's up, y'all? Alvin here, and today I've got 4 fly fishing tips to help you stop struggling. I tell the good jokes. All right, so these are some pretty basic tips, but I'm really surprised every time I show these tips to someone how many people don't know these tips. These are really basic things, and if you don't know them, once you know them, your life is gonna be a lot easier. All right, so first tip starts with the tip. All right, so when you go to string your rod up, I see lots of people grab the rod and start with the butt section and work their way up, and then when they're finished, they're holding up the entire weight of the rod with just the tip of the rod. And believe it or not, you can break the tip off your rod that way, and that's a really sad way to start your day of fishing. So instead, what you want to do is start with the tip, grab the next section, and then work your way down. That way you are supporting the weight of the rod with the next heavier section. Always remember to start with them at an angle and twist them tight. So now you're holding the weight of that rod with the butt section, the way it was designed to be held. All right, tip number 2. I usually like to do this before I put the reel on, and that is setting the drag. So when you're not using the reel, most manufacturers will tell you to back the drag all the way off so you're not keeping the drag materials compressed, which can damage them over time. So you need to set the drag. Now, unless you're fishing for big fish that are gonna be really ripping a lot of line off the reel, all you wanna do is set that drag tight enough so that when you give the line a tug, it doesn't backlash. So, you know, it usually doesn't take a whole lot of pressure, and you just want to check it. Just give it a couple good yanks like so. If you don't get a backlash, you're probably good. You might even be able to back it off a click or two just to make sure. So like if you're fishing with lighter tippets, you can always crank the drag down once a fish starts running. But if you got a light tippet on, the fish takes off and breaks your tippet, they're gone. There's nothing you can do at that point. So that's how you want to set your drag. Just tight enough so that you don't get a backlash when you yank the line. Now, let's go ahead and put the reel on the rod, and I'll show you how you want to string your rod up. All right, so I see people all the time grabbing the leader, the end of the leader, and stringing the leader through the rod. And what invariably happens is you'll get halfway up and you'll let go, and just the weight of the fly line will pull the entire leader back down through the rod and you gotta start over. Or you'll get everything all strung up, you tie your fly on, and then you look and you missed a guide. This little technique will help avoid both of those problems. Actually, it'll eliminate both of those problems. What you wanna do is pull out enough fly line to thread the entire rod, and then just fold the tip of the fly line over like so, and use that to thread your rod. So as you're threading your rod, what you'll notice is that it's really easy to see, so you don't miss a guide on your way up. And if for whatever reason you get distracted and you let go of your fly line, that little loop will prevent the line from sliding all the way back through. It'll catch in one of the guides. Makes your life so much easier. I can't tell you how many times I've showed that to somebody and it was like, whoa. No more missed guides, no more starting over from scratch. Okay, so here's another kind of bonus tip for rigging up your rod. If you're somewhere where you can't stick the reel on the bed of your truck or somewhere safe, the old timers used to say, take your hat off, put that on the ground, and then sit your reel on top of that as you strung your rod up. And that's just to keep from getting junk inside your reel. A lot of these modern fly reels have really, really tight tolerances, so just a few grains of sand a lot of times is enough to jam them up. So put that reel somewhere safe as you're stringing your rod. Okay, so now you got your rod strung up, and say you're gonna put the rod in the boat, or you're gonna put the rod in your truck and drive out to the water, or you're just gonna walk to the next spot. I've seen lots of people reel the line in, pull the leader fly line connection into the tip and hook a fly onto the cork or onto the fighting butt. And a couple reasons I don't like that. Number one is anytime you poke something into the cork, there's another chance to yank a chunk of cork out of your handle. And that's never fun. The other is when you get to the next spot or you get to where you're gonna fish and you decide to go ahead and pull some line out, you end up struggling to get that fly line leader connection out of the rod tip. And I've actually seen people break their rod tips just trying to do that. So here's what you want to do instead. You want to take that fly, pull enough line out so that you can hook your fly on either the stripping guide, or if you have a really long leader, you may have to even put it up further, if you got a second stripping guide or one of the snake guides, and make sure you have enough line so that you can just wrap the line around the reel like so, and then tighten it up. That way you can walk to your next destination if you're wade fishing, or you can throw it back in the boat, or you can throw it back in the truck. And then when you get to the next spot that you're gonna fish, all you have to do is pull the line off the back of the reel, reach up, grab your fly, and you're good to go. No struggling with getting that fly line leader connection out of the rod tip. All right, so like I said, these are some super basic tips that if you didn't know, you are definitely struggling. So now you know you're not struggling. Hopefully that helps some of y'all out there. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, all that YouTube stuff. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one. And in the meantime, good luck on the water.